Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I am thrilled to be joined by HWZ. HWZ, what's up, man? It's been too long since we collabed. How you been?
Bro, I've been awesome. Thank you for having me. I've been, enjoying Raid as usual, playing some other games here and there, checking out you guys' content. You're doing awesome, bro. You're killing it.
Oh, no, dude. I don't know. I'm just doing my thing here, man. But I appreciate it. I love you. I love your channel as well. We just collab, by the way, on HWZ's channel, guys. Check it out. We talked about a bunch of kind of quality of life stuff and things we'd like to see changed in the game. I'll have that link for you guys in the description below. Today we're here because we know that buffs are coming to the game. Finally. But it's been like 6 months, dude. What's the holdup, Plarium? It's funny because when I was doing this Cirilla interview too, she's like, buffs are arriving. And I was like, hell yeah. And then she's like, next year. And I'm like, oh, because is it that hard to buff? I guess it is. I don't know. Like they have a lot of employees, man.
Right.
But anyway, I'm not here to complain.
Also, maybe I wanted to talk more.
Well, we'll be getting buffs, and she did announce the first 2 buffs that are coming. They're not going to be on our list, so I'll mention them. Angar and Fortis. Are you more excited about either of these 2?
I don't have either of them.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's just a really sad story.
Sorry. Well, I'm excited about Fortis personally, man. Like, I think this guy could be so cool. He would be probably my #1 champion to buff in the game. So I'm thrilled that they're actually going to be touching him. But today we actually picked the candidates that we want to receive buffs most in the game. We picked 3 legendaries each, 1 epic each, and 1 rare each. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know about you, HWZ, but I'm not saying like these are the #1 champions that deserve. I'm just saying these are champions that are kind of 1 buff away, maybe a buff and a half away from being like really viable and doing something that like not every, like it's easy to say, hey, just get more damage from this champion, because there's a lot of those out there. Like I can just name a couple, right? Like buff the multipliers to Supreme Aethel, buff the multipliers to Vitreous the Anointed, right? Like champions that have sky high attack that should have high multipliers. Like how about you give them high multipliers?
Just add some nice clean money.
We're trying to pick maybe a little bit outside the box. So, hey, you're the guest, dude.
Well, you remember.
What do you got for us first for us? Start with the Legos.
So first is going to be Quintus the Triumphant, right?
Okay.
Do
you have him?
No, I don't have him yet. Looked at, everybody who's covered him so far. I've looked at the kid.
Yeah.
Oh, you poor guy.
For the most part, most in-game players are a bit disappointed, primarily because, his A2, it says removes all buffs. These effects cannot be resisted or blocked. And we know things are different. They're coded differently than how they're worded in this game. And so people are disappointed, right? Because you go in, you try to remove Stone Skin and it just doesn't remove it. Like Stone Skin takes the priority. You're not meeting that check. And like, nah, this says cannot be resisted or blocked. Give me my cannot be resisted or blocked. Like they need to fix that, right? Especially for a Void Legendary damage dealer. A lot of people putting in time in Live Arena to try to get them. It's you got to put in work. You got to ascend up there to gold 3 to get them. So I think that it should definitely, fix that. At least give him that chance to just take that off, right?
Yeah, man, like that to me is, I don't know, it's more of a fix than a buff. What about everything? But I guess it's both too, right? Because he's better. So what do you think? Do you think other than that, he's okay?
I think other than that, obviously they could boost his multipliers a bit. Yeah. Like he does, hit pretty decently, but it's not, anything crazy. It's not like he's, gaining damage like Taraz gains damage or like the mythical Orc gains damage from buffs and things of that nature. So they could buff his multipliers a bit. He's the most in-game reward that we have currently at this time, other than Prism Shards. He's as far as champions go,
true.
He's the most current.
Yeah.
So
yep. No, that's a good point. Good call out there. Good start to the vid. I'm actually going to go over to the portal if my thing will load here, and I'm going to go to the new permanent fusion that we have. But I just made a video talking about Kira, the Watcher, and I think that Tatsu is like the cool thing about this mythical fusion is if if you're missing a bunch of these champions or whatever, like you could even to take them to level 50 if you wanted to, right? And then you can use them later on, right? To get Lady Mikage. Is that how you say her name?
Mikage,
Mikage, dude. I'm never gonna learn, man.
My kids.
What am I supposed to do around here anyway?
I think that it would behoove, especially progression players, to go ahead and invest in Kira. I would like to say the same about Tatsu, but I think she's one buff away from being super viable. I don't think she's absolutely trash, but hey, if she's going to be a permanent fusion in the game, let's make her better, right? Let's make her better. And I think that there's an easy, I mean, her kit, like, I don't know about, do you have her first of all?
No, bro, I didn't go in. I didn't go in for in that what was it, champ training?
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah. No, I stay away from those.
Same.
Because faint heart never won. Fair mate.
To me, like, I feel like she's supposed to be a damage dealer, but she's also a debuffer. I think that, like, one of her main use cases is probably going to be like a go first in the arena, where she goes in there with the A2, she places decreased resistance, and she puts them to sleep, kind of like a Kymar type or a Cornelia type role. The problem is she's like, her base speed is only 100. That's not that bad, but for a go first champion like that, you know, it's tough. Where does she fit right now, right? And like, what is her viability outside of, like, decreased resistance is great, don't get me wrong, but then she's got a 4-turn cooldown with some self-buffing, and her multipliers aren't that great. I think she has in the 3s on all of her abilities. So what would you fix about her? Like, to me, I almost feel like this, man. I don't know if this would make her too broken, but I'm going to go for it, man. I think that on the A2, if, you know, at least one sleep debuff was placed, grants an extra turn. That way she can go into, that way it doesn't make her OP outside of, like, you know, the arena or waves, right? Because you can't play sleep on bosses, you know, except for Sand Devil. But then you can come in and kill somebody with her A2. I think she's just missing a little bit of synergy in her kit, you know? So anyway, that's what I would do to buff her. I would give her a conditional extra turn predicated on the sleep on the A2.
Yeah, that's a great shout, actually, because, you know, Hydra is very champion specific. So someone like her who's transferring debuffs, removing debuffs, or what have you, she's getting a ton of turn meter when she's doing this, and she could, you know, Hydra boss is putting all kinds of debuffs on you. You're getting poisons, you're getting decreased attack, you're getting provoked, you're getting all kinds of things. So she could even be viable there for the decreased res. The sleep, not so much, but decreased res can be helpful for sure. You know, and if she did have better multipliers, she could come in as someone who could, you know, kind of CC, kind of give you some damage as well. Not going to be your enemy max HP nuker, but she could come in and still do some damage on the, you know, on the lower levels for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%. It's a good call out, right? Like, give her, even outside of arena, you know, give her some other utility in the game, right? And for me, it's a little unclear where we're going to be using her. So, okay, who you got next, man?
Next, I have Tremeria.
Ooh, that's a good one. From
the Dark Elves. I actually covered this champion. You know, when this champion was first brought into the game, somebody hit me up. It was like, dude, I got Tremeria. You want to show her off? I'm like, yeah, I'll definitely show her off. She has 2 AoEs. She's got a lot of mechanics, you know, working here with removing debuffs. You know, but she's immune to sleep, right? I feel like there could be one minor change that would make this champion absolutely amazing at Hydra.
I see where you're going here. I see where you're going.
You know where I'm going. If she was just immune to fear, I think that she would be crazy, right?
I want to punch this guy in the face so bad.
She's going to be getting fear. She's got the AoE decrease speed on the A1. She can go ahead and cleanse your team and then fill their turn meter by 15%, you know, and then further fills the turn meter by 10% for every fear that she removes. Obviously, you know, you can get provoked by Hydra as well. She can remove some provokes. Going to give your team a huge boost. It's on a 3-turn cooldown as well, so she's going to be coming around to that fast. I think she could be a great support champion for Hydra if they just made her immune to fear, because otherwise she's just going to be fearing herself.
I love that idea. It doesn't make her like broken or anything like that, but it synergizes beautifully with her kit because to your point, she comes in there and cleanses it off everybody else. You don't have to worry about it on her.
I cannot see. I'm legally blind.
You're right. The first thing you think about when I pull this champion, the first thing I thought of is, wow, this would be a good Hydra support champion with the AoEs and stuff like that. But then, like, the stun doesn't fit there, you know? It's just like, I don't know where they want us to use her, really, you know? So I agree, she's not a trash champion, but I would love to see a buff, make her more viable, especially a Void Legendary, you know?
Exactly. And with 2 AoEs, you could easily throw her in like a curse set or a provoke set and then give her a bit more utility.
Yes.
Seeing as though you can't place the stun. Like at least, go ahead, you could place Hex, you can place provoke. Give her a bit more utility.
Yep. No, totally agree. Good call out there. All right, I'm going to go for an old school-ish. It's Manaya. Beauty to the beast, man.
This is the kind of talk I like.
I love Coronar Manaya combo. I think they're the most fun tandem in the game, I want to say, maybe next to like a Siphi and a Rotos. But either way, like I love that synergy. I love how much better they make each other too. But Manaya, she's so under. Coronar by himself, like he's cool. Manaya by herself, it's just like, yeah, she needs something else, man. She needs something else. It's funny, I was originally going to go with Sathalia because I'm a big fan of her too. And I was like, nah, Manaya's way worse than Sathalia. I'm going Manaya. The thing is, she has like this HP that's supposed to be like a big heal, 10,000. Man, maybe 10,000 was a good heal back in the day, but nowadays that's like a quarter heal, like 25% of their max HP, if that,
Right.
And like, okay, cool. That's a 3-turn cooldown. And then what does she have? A 40% AoE heal and a 4-turn cooldown. Place block debuffs for 2 turns. Okay, that's not bad. Wait, on champions under increased defense, and she doesn't have increased defense? Man, Manaya's kit, like she looks really cool. Like, I don't know, man. She should be so much better, I feel like, right? Her base stats are pretty good. First off, at this point, you could take that Beauty's Allure, you could bring it down to a 3-turn, and you could still have the block debuffs there for 2 turns without the conditionality. It's a big buff, but she's still nowhere near as good when you look at her entire kit as like a Rio Bone Spear, who has essentially that ability, right? Maybe that's going a little bit too far, but at the very least, take out the conditionality at the very least, right? Keep it a 4-turn cooldown. And maybe you're reviving like... fills the turn of all allies by 20% when this champion is revived. Revives this champion with 75% HP when killed. If Coronar's on the same team, like I almost feel like that shouldn't even be conditional, even though I still want her to be a companion champion at Coronar too, But I almost feel like just revives herself anyway. Like that would not break her at all. Give her another champion ability, another tandem ability, Make it continuous heal on all allies on the A1 or something ridiculous like that if Coronar's on the same team. But either way, I think the Manaya needs an update very badly because she's not trash, but she's not good.
Yeah, definitely.
It hurt my feelings. It made me cry.
Just to add on to what you said, there's like slight things. She's like one buff away from really breaking the barrier. Because even with that block debuffs, if she had a cleanse on that ability, we really like champions that cleanse and place block debuffs, right?
Good point.
Or if her passive like placed increased defense at the start of her turn, her A3 would make a lot more sense. So
everything's conditional in this stupid kit, If she's fully healed, then you place a shield. Like everything. Come on, man. She needs a buff badly. The more I look at her, the more I'm like, yeah, dude. Like she has a lot of promise here, but no execution, no follow through.
Yeah, no follow through at all.
Who you got next, man?
Next, I got Narma the Return.
Ooh.
And I don't think anybody talks about this champion.
That's a good one, man.
Narma, old Narma.
Don't get familiar.
I actually really like Narma's kit, but there are some issues. If her abilities were not all single target, if they weren't all single target, I could really justify using this champion in more places than one. Because right now, she kind of just has a kit for like, clan boss. She's got decreased attack. She can play some poisons and poison sensitivity, increase the duration of all those debuffs with her A1. That's fine. But for a player that's, not needing to progress, clan boss anymore, the clan boss isn't getting any harder. I'm not using Narma in clan boss.
No.
I'd love to take her into, hard dragon, right? I'd love to have this A3 be AoE. It's a 4-turn cooldown. Make it AoE if it's going to be a 4-turn cooldown.
Yep.
Know, her kit, I'm not saying make her as busted as Theodore, right? But like, if this is AoE, you go in, you can get some wave clearing with poisons or whatever. She contributes to a poison explosion comp as well. She's got decreased attack on the A2 that can help you with the boss, and she can extend the poisons on the A1. This is everything that you ideally want from a champion that contributes to a poison explosion comp. So I would love to see just a little bit of a change for her.
I 100% agree, man. Like, first of all, not many people, I'm going to hear from all of you who are, but not many people are running poison clan boss teams anymore. Like, it's not like it used to be, at least, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I know it can still be a absolutely cool, viable strategy. You can still one key with poison, but that being said, it's just like, dude, and if you're going to bring the poison on a 4-turn cooldown with no instant activation when there's Dark Kale out there, like, it's an immediate power creep, man. Like, you know, I agree 100% on Number of the Returned. Some people like this champion, but she's a niche clan boss, and even then, like, give me a cult brawler, man. I mean, I don't know,
Exactly.
like, you know,
and she's legendary.
She's legendary. She's legendary. She's really, she's a great call out. Great call out. All right, I'm gonna go with dude. This is tough, man. But my last legendary is gonna be Gamaran. Because this guy is the weirdest champion in the game. I feel like you pull this dude and you're like, okay, you're confused, right? You're like, wait a sec, is he good or is he bad? Or have people not figured him out yet? Because there's a lot of reading to do with this kit, right? And I'm not even going to read it with it to everybody, waste your time. But it's not good. It's just not. He's not good. He's very unique though. And I like this. This is what I was saying earlier in the video. Is like, if you're gonna buff if I'm gonna pick some champions, give me someone who has some potential. He has a buff spread ability, which is really cool, right? I like that idea. He's stealing buffs and then he's spreading buffs. But really, so I think the A2 is actually fine. I think the A3 though is the issue, right? And that is, I think they need to rework it, you know? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have a perfect solution, because this is such a bizarre ability, right? That, like, I feel like maybe having the damage be critical, maybe it's as easy as that, you know? Like, maybe that's the only solution that we need, or maybe it needs to be totally reworked. And I'm not going to pretend I have the answers, because this is one of those champions to me, just to be totally real, that, like, unless you have a brain like Saf or something, like, you need to go in there and chest.
Someone call me? No!
Test, you know? But I think this Dread Invocation can be really cool potentially, but it's just not working right now. So I don't, because, like, anywhere you can make a case for using him, like, oh, you can target a dead champion and place a block revive, and it sounds cool, but it's just like, yeah, or I could just run a block revive champion in that spot for a lot more damage and everything else, you know, like, or a Lydia for that, you know, who does a billion more things than that, you know. So exactly. I feel like they either rework this, or maybe they just turn it into a passive. Like, maybe I'm getting too crazy here, but, like, maybe it's just like, hey, when he's on the team, the first enemy who dies cannot be revived or something, you know, like, and get rid of all this baloney and just make him, I don't know. I don't know, but he's so unique with his A3 and his A2 with the buff spread that I wish he was more viable. Yeah,
100%, man. Even if, like you said, it could be critical, or, you know, if it just had like an insane multiplier, it would be worth using, you know, because we have a champion now that, you know, Valkyrie, who he can kill somebody on your team and then do immense damage. Allow him to, you know, allow Gamaran to come in, target possibly somebody dead or alive, and then do some crazy conditional damage there. But just looking at it, it's so much to read. The average player is not gonna, you know, when they pull this champion, come in, start reading this kit and say, okay, how can I use this? They're gonna say, oh no, I'm not reading that. I'm just gonna put this guy in the back.
Speaking of reading, I think that Valkyrie has the longest in the entire game. Like, dude, this guy, bro, get your bookmark. I was like, it's been so long since I used a bookmark in real life. Like, get your what is that word? Get your bookmark out on this guy, because holy moly.
Yes. I love to read.
But yeah, I agree with you, man. He's kind of a little bit of an unorthodox champ that I feel like you can get a lot more out of. Before we move on to our epic and our rare choices, any honorable mentions that you thought of in this video on legendaries that you just want to call out real quick? I'll do. Go ahead.
Honorable mentions as far as legendaries. I was, you know, leaning towards Doom Tower champions. I was looking at all of the Doom Tower champions. All the Doom
Tower champs, except for Euros. Yeah, exactly.
Except for Euros, and I'm just like, pick any of them. Take any one of them. Buff all of them. It's hard to pick one, because it's like, by the time you get them, you've made so much progression in the game, right? Almost none of them are viable for accounts for the most part. Like,
I'll pick two: Granjar and Chromax. Those are the two I think are the most deserving.
Definitely, you know? Definitely. Granjar needs some sort of, you know, activation. He needs better cooldowns. He needs something to make me want to say, okay, I got this champion. I've finally progressed years in Doom
Yeah.
Tower because it's
You
gonna.
don't get excited about an AoE 4-turn HP burn?
No, I don't. Not with the free RTAC. I don't. I just
Right?
don't, bro. Like
Or a Skrank for God's sakes, but come on, man.
I need something a lot more, right?
Yeah.
You know, even if he could come in and be somebody who could help me in Hard Ice Golem, right? We know the HP burn is huge in Hard Ice Golem. Make this guy's kit like viable for Hard Ice Golem, whereas like Artec is in there soloing the boss, dude. I don't need to use Grunge.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree 100% on all those. I would a few honorables from me. Allure, like buff that dude, man. Come on. He's a really cool
buff.
Yeah, a real buff this time, please. Who is obviously Jingwan. I think they give him another buff too, like in the another buff categories. I feel like Noble is probably there. I think Noble's actually one buff away. I did a video talking about how I think he's not that trash as people say he is, and I got a lot of hate for it because people hate this dude. But I still think he deserves a buff. I just think that there's some promise there. Altan, I feel like could get a buff. I feel like look at me, I'm going crazy here.
Help me!
But I think Hackhorn Smash Lord could use a cooldown reduction. So those are just a few. I'm sure that I'm missing a ton, as well. The cow, Great Hoof, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll digress though. Who you got for an epic, man?
So epics, man. I actually got Dark Aethel.
Ooh, that's a good one, bro.
Yeah, bro. Dark Aethel is champ. You're actually gonna be able to get this champ free, right? So
yes,
she is a login champ, right? So
yeah,
looking to make some progress. Right now, don't look to Dark Aethel for that progress. All right.
No.
She does have decreased speed, but it's 4 turns, 4-turn cooldown. Not great. It's not 100% chance. Yeah, it's not 100% chance either. So it's like, okay, what is she actually providing for me? It's not like she has 100% decreased defense on the A1, right? And then this A3 is just, god awful. It is an AoE. She's gonna attack everybody. And she's got a conditional increased speed and a conditional extra turn that they're trying
all you
to
gotta
make
do is
use.
kill 10 enemies though. Come on, man, that's reasonable.
Right. I'm gonna go in here on day, what is it, like login day 170 or whatever it is when you get her. Is it 90 days? You're 90 days into the game.
Yeah.
90 days into the game. You're not bringing Dark Aethel in to kill 10 enemies so she can get an extra turn.
No, obviously it's like she's meant for spider, right? You kill 10 spiderlings, you come in, you decrease speed on the rest of the spiderling, but like it doesn't even make any sense. If you're killing them, then why do you need to decrease speed them?
Exactly.
Like, dude, I hate Dark Aethel. Some weirdos out there love her. I don't know, man, because I hear from the comments. But okay, that was a really good one. My brain was in the same area, man, on my epic. It's actually the same thing. It's Yaga the Insatiable, who's another free champion. Because like, I was gonna do Lordly Legionary for the same reason, because it's like exactly what you were thinking. If you're gonna be giving away like free champions, don't make them an epic book trap for new players, And that's exactly what Yaga the Insatiable is. Like this dude, man, I feel for anybody who wastes like 15 books in this dude. You got a 50% chance poison on the A1. You've got a chance of placing a couple poisons on the A2. And then you've got a Rot from Within that deals extra damage on a 4-turn cooldown. That's the problem too, is that they're both 4-turn cooldowns, as A2 and as A3. If you book it, which you shouldn't.
Don't listen to him, okay?
Let me just be real, man. Like, they could do a lot to and I don't think that every champion needs to be the best champion, right? But like, his base stats suck too. Like, he's very squishy. I think that at the very least, and this would not make him even like average, I feel like, but it would be a step in the right direction. At the very least, bring his A2 down to a 3-turn, bring his A3 down to a 3-turn. Like, they should both be on 3 turns. And then, like, at least he can pump out a little bit more poisons. He's still not as good as Aothar or, like, half the other epic poisoners, but, I mean, it's a small start for new players who actually do invest in this dude. I think you get him after, like, 15 days or something. He's, like, early,
Yeah,
So, I don't know. I feel bad for anybody who invests in this dude thinking he's good.
Yeah, that's a great shout. You're getting them early. You're looking to make, clan boss, progression.
Yeah.
And if you're not a spender, at all, you're free to play. This guy could definitely come in and help you in clan boss. He could be your poisoner. He kind of has a kit, he's getting damage to extra damage to enemies under poison, similar to
Yeah.
a cult brawler. So it's like,
You could give him a poison sensitivity on the A3 too. Like there's a bunch of things you could do, you know, he just needs a little bit more because man, like you get him on day, I'm not even sure if it's day 14, but you get him in like a week or two in or whatever. And then
It's day 60.
He's power crept 4 days later or whatever, you know? So like, yeah.
Terrible kid.
Okay. Who you got for rare?
For rares, I actually got Pathfinder Kate, who's not a terrible champion.
Yeah, I like Pathfinder Kate, man.
He's actually not like he's actually not bad.
How
right?
dare you insult me, sir?
She. It's a she, bro.
Oh, it's a she?
Come on, man.
I find myself doing that too often.
I butcher the names, you butcher the genders. She's got boobs, right? I mean, like usually,
Oh my God,
usually
she
they
does.
really throw them in your face, so I can tell. I can tell.
Dude, what?
You know what, dude? Somebody in the comments used to always tell me, bro, every video, they used to tell me Ghostborn is a girl. Dude, they're showing the nips, man. They're not.
Wait,
she's not
what?
a girl. It's not a girl. I don't know why.
Ghostborn, no way.
Boob talk, guys.
No,
right.
no worries, man. So Pathfinder, dude, literally Mighty Yuko. I've been calling Mighty Yuko a chick for like forever. I just need to say that really quick.
Wait a sec. Let me take a quick look here. This is really. Come on, man.
My bad, yo. I couldn't.
Video's gonna be demonetized for pornography now, man. Come on.
My bad.
Showing so much nip on this video. Now you're gonna tell me Samson the Mash is a female too, right?
I think that the A2 is solid. Okay, AOE. You got a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill by 2 turns, right?
Yeah.
I think if they up that chance a little bit and then maybe make the A1 AOE, I'm not even asking for a higher percentage chance to place block buffs on the A1. But if it was AOE, right? Which is similar to, another rare that I rather enjoy. There's another rare that has a AOE A1 and the demon spawn.
Abyssal.
Exactly, Abyssal. He has the AOE block buffs A1. It's not an amazing chance, but it is helpful. And it's like, rare champions like this that have these, hits that, you kind of overlook. They come in handy for players trying to make progression. So if another champ with an AOE block buffs is huge, and then you got a chance to increase cooldown, skill cooldowns. This could be huge everywhere in the game. You're talking PvE and PvP. So I think that would just make this, this champ one buff away from like being a god tier rare for sure.
I am not against the buff, 100% for it, but I'm also kind of like already a fan of Pathfinder Kate. So like, I don't know. But yeah, let's buff her more, man. I agree. That's a really good A2 ability she's got, like 50% chance on the AOE of a random skill by 2 turns on each target. Like that's pretty dang good. But I agree, like it's not incredibly consistent. I throw in her stun set. She is very they could buff her HP while they're at it at 11k or whatever.
Yeah.
Before I give my rare, dude, I gotta say this because I forgot like my number one. I've been saying that. I even told Cirilli in the interview, Rosin Scarhide, man. Like they need to buff him so bad because he's a permanent fusion and he's if anything, at least the speed 91. Yeah. What is he? A rare? Anyway,
and he's an amazing champion too. Like
he is.
He has a solid kit. I don't think they need to honestly change anything about it.
Well, they could take that A3. I think it's a 6-turn cooldown. They could bring that down too potentially, but either or, like do something there. My rare's Dagger, man. Dagger.
Dagger.
Yeah, man. Like I don't like Dagger. I was gonna say I like her. I don't like her. She's very squishy. 793 defense, 12,000 HP, and really, like, it's not about her squishiness, but that's just another nail in the coffin here. It's like, dude, she's a void rare, and she's this close to being a consistent debuffer. She's this close. Listen, she's already super squishy. You got War Maiden who can do way more than she does. She's a non-void rare. Just give Dagger the 95% and let us finish it off with Sniper, on the decreased defense. That's all I'm asking for. Is it too much? Because decreased defense, she's a void, man. Give her everything about her kit other than that can stay the same. Everything's cool. She takes a lot of books. Cool. keep the books. I don't care. Just bring it up to a 95% on the precision of Sabotage. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a solid fix. It's not even asking for too much, man. I think that decreased defense, you get a rare like this early in the game, especially if you're pulling voids, which you're probably not going to get a ton of in the early game. But if you get a champion like this and you haven't been lucky enough to farm a War Maiden, this is going to be impactful for an account.
Even if you have, right? Because like, what about every Spirit Affinity dungeon? Like you could run a dagger, like with the void, and voids are supposed to be like better than a campaign farmable rare, right?
Yeah, 100%. You are right. I stand corrected.
Nah, man.
They need to change this.
Change it. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, dagger. Like there's so many. I feel like there's so many rares to the point of this video. They're like one little buff away, like Fleshmonger's another dude, like Skinwalker, same thing, right? He's got the he's got a 75% decreased defense on a 4-turn. He does have extra turn mechanic, but like maybe bump it up a little bit more, maybe give us I think that we have one Force Affinity AoE decreased defense champion in War Maiden, and that's it. That's the only rare with 100%. Maybe give us one of each affinity. Is that too much to ask?
Right. And the big decreased defense, because they have others, but it's not the big one.
No.
Like there's a Fencer in the High Elves does it, but it's the little decreased defense.
Got it.
Yeah.
So so I would like to see Dagger get that buff there. But hey, man, that was a lot of buffs. I feel like we touched on a lot, but there's a lot else that I'm sure my viewers will add as well. Guys, now's a perfect time to go ahead and check out HWZ's channel. We just did a collab, as I mentioned there as well. We talk about a bunch of stuff that we would like fix in the game, or a lot of stuff like I'll give away a little tidbit, like the sparring pit, for example. Like, are they ever gonna, or the market, like, are they gonna update that stuff? So you can hear all our ideas there on HWZ's channel. HWZ, thanks so much for coming on, man, and really enjoyed chatting with you, man.
Oh yeah, anytime, man. The pleasure is all mine. I appreciate you having me on. Have a lot of fun chatting with you.
Of course, man. Let's do it again soon, guys. That's gonna do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Appreciate you guys, and as always, take care.